Good evening, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, Adjoa, you are.
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. So we are welcome to April's session for the corporate hangout. And on behalf of CXP Ghana, I warmly welcome you all to the session. I hope we had a great day and a fruitful week as well. So today promises to be very exciting, very engaging, and we have our able resources with us to enable us to dissect and answer all the questions that we have on our minds. So some of these questions could be, how can we put together a compelling digital branding strategy? Why do I need to understand what digital branding strategy is about as a CX professional? So this and many others are some of the questions that are going to be answered. So please tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend that we have started. Currently, we have about almost 30 participants with us. It would be great if we can have more, as this is a subject that will benefit everybody. So to acknowledge our sponsors, would like to thank Unique FM 95.7, Joy Business, Brandcraft. You can contact them for all your branding needs, your creative needs. And then Rima CXC, you can contact them for your CX consulting needs as well. A few house rules: kindly mute your mic if you are not talking. If you have a comment, kindly use the raise hand button and you'll be called to make your comment or ask your question. Or you can type in the chat box and I would gladly read it out and it will be responded to. So without much delay, I would like to call on the Vice President of CXP Ghana to give us the introductory remarks. Mr. Kojo, over to you, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Adra, and hi to everyone out there. As has been said, my name is Kojo Dugan, the Vice President of Customer Experience Professionals Ghana. Now, today's topic is about obviously branding and smart technology, using smart technology for digital branding and so on. And people may ask, what has digital got to do with branding? Some may allude to social media and how you do digital marketing really. But let me just say this: that look, I always tell people, when it comes to transformation, it's always about efficiency. If you look, we've had the first industrial revolution, second, third, and now we're in the fourth. All of them had to do with efficiency. The first was about steam, and hydropower to boost in terms of production. Second was steel production in terms of infrastructure, making buildings and infrastructure, and also manufacturing more productive. Third was about research and the age of computers, and now we're in the age of data. So really, what's essential is about using that data and the right mix of tools, both digital and human capital, to achieve that purpose and excite your customers. And that's what really customer experience is all about. Excite them, provide a need for them, meet them where they have a need, and provide a solution for where they have a need. And so today we have a great panel to help us discuss this. This is not our first hangout we were having. We've introduced hangouts where we have regular interactions with our members and the general public really, to help educate and also empower you really with knowledge and resources so that we can all be better at our various workplaces. We have an exciting panel, as we said. Dario Bianchi, who's at MTN, Michael Chawe, and JP Datsun. I'll leave Adra to give the details about who they are really, and they'll also talk about themselves. But if it was a radio station, as they say, tune in, listen, and put away the knob. Don't keep your eyes locked here, keep your ears locked here. This promises to be an exciting event today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Vice President, for setting the tone for this session. And I guess I was so excited to introduce a session that I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Ajua Asari Asamoah, and I'll be your able moderator or host for today's session. So we get right into it, and we invite Mr. Chawe, Michael Chawe, to give us the CX word for the day. And if you're like me, who uses terms but cannot really put to words what the definition of the terms are, then this should be your favorite section as well. So Mr. Michael Chawe, just a brief introduction of him. He's the service manager for, he's a service quality manager for Fidelity Bank. Before taking up that role, he was a service manager with a retail department of the same bank. He's been in Fidelity Bank for almost a decade. And before Fidelity Bank, he was with Tech Mahindra. And at Tech Mahindra, he was responsible for Airtel's contact center. Mr. Chawe, if you are ready, we are ready for you as well.
Thank you, AJ. That was a lovely intro. All right, so today we're going to look at customer journey. The Vice President said, sorry, I'm not very sure whether it's a Vice President or AJ, but we use terminologies and sometimes we probably do not even understand some of the, appreciate in detail some of the terminologies we use. So today we are basically looking at the customer journey. Customer journey basically is a process that encompasses all the phases a persona basically goes through from the moment they identify a need until they acquire a product or service to satisfy the need. There are 3 stages to this. There is the awareness stage, the consideration stage, and then the conversion stage. At the awareness stage, this is the point where the customer probably goes through some effort, either through research directly or indirectly, in order to be able to identify exactly what they need. And at this point, they come into contact with multiple brands and products. During this step, the customer is likely to either go online, talk to friends, or probably, undertake some form of mystery shopping to satisfy their curiosity. And once that is done, then we move to the next stage, which is the consideration stage. This is where customers begin to look for alternative to their past purchases. Then, based on the research they have conducted, they are able to identify specific brands that, they think they will be able to do business with. And then we move to the conversion stage, where a decision basically is made in order to be able to satisfy their need. And this is where businesses need to put in place measures to make sure that at the point where the customer has made a decision, they are able to come into focus in the life of the customer. And if we were to move into detail, this is where I would suggest that businesses conduct empathy mapping, or what we call the A3 methodology, if you're a fan of Toyota. So AJ, basically this is the word of the day.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. Very insightful terminology there, customer journey. I believe the next time we'd be interested to know what persona is as well, so that we have an end-to-end understanding of what the term is. Thank you so much, Michael. To those who just joined us, we are on April's corporate hangout session, and the theme is using smart technology to drive brand experience. And for those who are new to this session, this has been powered by CXP Ghana. CXP Ghana is a short form of customer experience professionals. So if you are a customer experience professional and you're looking for a professional body to be part of, I bet you this is the right place. And go to our website and join and enjoy all the freebies and opportunities that comes with it. Thank you so much, Mr. Chawe. So without much ado, we delve into the panel discussion. And we are grateful and honored to have two experts in the area of brand strategy with us. So permit me to introduce them. First on the list is Mr. Dario Bianchi. Mr. Dario Bianchi, is the group head for digital transformation in MTN. So he joined MTN in 2019. Before 2019, he was with the digital group director for some leading telcos such as Vodafone, TIM, and Orange. He has a master's degree in telecommunication engineering from University of Florence, Italy. And he also has a GMP certificate. Mr. Bianchi, I hope you would explain what the GMP certificate is when you introduce yourself. So he has a GMP certificate from ESCP Business School. He's passionate about designing and delivering engaging digital experience products that improves on people's lives. He's an avid runner and a surfer as well. Mr. Bianchi, you are welcome to today's session. Our second resource is John Peter Datson, also known as JP. JP is the founder of Brand Crafts, Squad Gear, and Party People. He's also the co-founder of Skates Nation Ghana, a non-profit community that seeks to promote skating in Ghana. He's worked with big brands such as Alcatel, Fidelity Bank, Accra Mall, Sickens, etc. We are so grateful to have you with us to facilitate the dissection of the discussion that seeks to understand how we can use smart technology to improve branding. So I'll start with Mr. Bianchi. If you can kindly let us know what you do in terms of your role in MTN for starters.
Yes, so good afternoon, everybody. I hope you're all doing well. And I'm glad to hear that JP is a skater. So you have a skater and a surfer on the same call. So that's an interesting one. I don't think it happens often in Ghana. So I think it's a unique thing.
Yes, it is.
So I've been with MTN Ghana for around slightly more than 3 years now, and I joined to drive the digital transformation of the organization, both internally and externally. So we are running a lot of program and projects to really accelerate the transformation of the organization. As you all know, MTN is quite a big company, I would say, but we still have a lot of work to do to really drive and become a leading digital player. So throughout the conversation today, maybe I will give you some more details of what we are doing, but I'm sure you know apps like MyMTN, like Ayoba. You're seeing the work we're doing on the website and our social media. So you will see more in the coming weeks and months, but for sure it's an exciting space to really help this big organization to transform and be ready for what is gonna come and what is already happening in Ghana.
Thank you, Dario. Now to JP, if you can kindly give a brief introduction of what you do. I don't think what I said did. Okay, over to you.
Okay, so first of all, I want to say welcome every single person in this room. It's an honor to be a part of this conversation. as well, and also looking forward to learning more from all of you as well. Primarily, what I do is I am passionate about culture and making an influence in culture. So, with all these businesses I run and other businesses I support with, ideally there's an element in there that focuses on shifting culture. So that's what I'm passionate about. So whether it's in the sports or on the arts and entertainment or the music side, as long as it influences culture, I'm very passionate about it. I believe that we need to take things into our hands, and through time, things evolve, things change. But I believe instead of sitting back, we can play an active role in making those changes so that in the future we'll be glad that things are going in the way we want to go. So that's what I'm passionate about, and that's what I spend most time doing. Spend most of my day designing or consulting for other people in their creative marketing.
Thank you very much, JP. With this intro, I believe that we have the right men for the job for this evening. Thank you so much. So to start with Dario, MTN Ghana recently rebranded from a telecom firm to a technology firm. Can you throw more light on the differences between these two firms and the motivation that led to the rebranding, and probably also the impacts on your customers?
Yeah, thank you for the call. It's quite interesting. The other day, Ralph Mupita, our global CEO, participated in I think it was a webinar, and he actually described MTN in a very interesting way. So we had three phases. The first phase after the foundation of MTN years ago, now almost 30 years ago, was around everything was around voice. Make sure that customers could communicate, expand the network, and so on. Then around beginning of 2010 started the data phase of MTN. That's where we started providing connectivity, internet, fast internet, then 3G, 4G, and now in some of the countries where MTN is present, also 5G, and hopefully soon also in Ghana. But now we are starting the third phase, is the platform phase. That is where basically we want to become a technology firm. We don't want to be just providing connectivity, but we want to provide solutions to customers, whether they are consumers or business. We want to provide solution that is not just data and connectivity. And what we're doing, the way we are doing it is by going beyond data and voice and structure specific platforms. I think you all know that the digital world now more and more is made of platform. If you think about Uber, if you think about Airbnb, eBay, these are all platforms. So the platform is in the middle, and then you have a partner and then a consumer or a customer. So we want to also position ourselves as a platform to help and to support the growth, the digital growth of Ghana and Africa. So of course, the main platform is mobile money, as we all know. So this is our key platform and one of our key revenue growth driver. But then there are others that are coming. One is Ayoba, our super app, where any startup can go and publish their app so that a consumer can use their app for free on Ayoba. But then we are also working on Chinosis, our API platform, and many other things to really be at the center of the digital transformation of the continent, I would say. So the focus really has not changed. I mean, we still want to provide great, amazing experiences to our customer, but we want to really lead the delivery of a bold new digital world. That is our mission.
Great. So I read on LinkedIn yesterday that Vodafone was riding on your platform to give roaming services to areas where connectivity isn't that good. So is it as a result of this platformization that is making it possible for this to be done? Correct,
exactly. So basically this is sort of, we want to make our network available to anybody. We start from the other operators in Ghana, but then who knows where we have no limits basically, but the idea is to really make sure that we are a platform and we can provide services to consumers and businesses in Ghana to make sure that they can scale their digital experience.
Great. Thank you, Dario. Now, we can't talk about digital branding without understanding what brand experience in itself is. So, JP, from where you sit, what does brand experience mean to you?
So from my point of view, brand experience is simply which through all the mediums that customers or prospective customers can communicate with your brand. So be it digitally, physically within the shops, be it social media platforms and whatnot, any single touch point that a customer can get access to you, then that needs to be considered.
Great. Dario, from the corporate perspective, would you want to add anything to that definition?
I mean, I would say that for us is everything is branding. So it's from, I don't know, how our shops look like, or our apps look like, or how we talk to our customers. So the way we talk to our customers when they call our call center, or also the how we write SMS to our customers. This is all about providing a great brand experience, and a great brand experience comes with a very good and seamless customer experience. So the two things for me go together, and it's one of our key focuses to always make sure that we provide a great experience so that customers can recognize that our brand, because our brand stands for great, perfect customer experience. Great.
So we can't talk about brand experience without talking about customer experience. That's great.
Exactly.
So a 2019 research by SAP indicated that organizations that are on the road to digital transformation were using at least two of these innovative solutions, namely Internet of Things, virtual reality, machine learning, AI, blockchain. So, Dario, in MTN, which of these innovative solutions are being used, and how does it impact positively on the customers?
So I would say that as you correctly say, smart tech or smart technology are everywhere now. So every single app that we use, or at least the majority, use some form of smart tech. In MTN, I would say that one of the key ones that we use is really around the AI and that we use to analyze our huge amount of data. So when we think about a campaign to our customers, for example, because we want them to, I don't know, buy a new bundle or spend few more cities with us, everything is done looking at the data, and we have these different platform and partners that use AI to help us select the right product for the right customer, basically. And that's how we are working on it. It's still early days. Of course, we're also exploring with group many other things. So, for example, tomorrow, one day there will be an MTN shop in the metaverse, for example, that where you can go buy your data there and then it's delivered on your phone. So who knows? There are no limits, but for sure our focus now is on advanced innovation such as machine learning, AI. Soon you will see that we're going to launch a chatbot called Ziggy on WhatsApp that will make use of NLP and all these technologies. But at the center of what we are doing is always make sure that we can scale these solutions. So what we want to do is we don't want to just work on some fancy innovation just to have a nice press release, but we really want to do things that can be experienced by as many customers and as many people as possible in the country.
Great. That's a smart strategy. So, JP, from your end, which of these innovative solutions are you conversant with, and which of them do you use often?
So, concerning smart tech, a lot of the digital apps as well, the social media platforms, and then within websites as well, we have a bit of artificial intelligence and smart technology in there as well, where when you go to a website, you register, you log in, and the browser remembers your information so that, you know, logging in is easier. These are all things that we apply to smart tech as well. And also, we're very big on social media because most of our customers end up doing most of their marketing through social media. So then we'd have to consider what platforms are relevant to their market and which ones are not, which ones have more traction and more engagement and which ones don't. Which ones would you have to invest more time and effort into? Because when it comes to the social media platforms per se, the content that will be going on Facebook may not be necessarily the most suitable for TikTok or other platforms as well. So these are all things that we consider. And also within their physical spaces, you know, there are some customers that have like self-service computers as well within their office and service points. So those are something that we also look at.
Great, great. Thank you. It's believed that an effective brand experience management strategy can be used as a differentiator in the market. Dario, what would you consider as critical elements that will make a compelling brand experience strategy?
So I think, as I said before, I think a perfect experience is absolutely critical. One of the things that I keep on reminding my team when we talk about my MTN is, yes, you can make it fancy, you can make it nice, you can add a lot of things on the app, but the key element is that must be, what is the main objective of my MTN is to make to give to customers an easier way to engage with MTN, to buy bundle, check balance, use Momo, and so on. So the key element is speed. So the key thing is, yes, you can make everything nice, but at the end of the day, if this app is not fast, nobody will use it. So for me, a key one is for sure perfect experience. The other one is consistency, and this is quite big for us in MTN. So to make sure that we deliver the same messages in the same way across multiple channels, so that customers know what do we stand for, and we repeat these across all the different channels. And then another one, and this is where maybe we are still struggling a bit, is have a story to tell. I was reading some research recently that especially the younger generations, they really want to engage with brands, but it's not just because the brand on social media is simply, you know, this is my product, why don't you buy these or whatever, but it's really trying to show what happens within the company. Okay, so for example, I recently watched a video of Tesla. They did an amazing video of a drone going around inside the company in Germany. So these are the type of things that then consumers somehow they engage with the brand. Okay, it's not just this is my product and that's the price. So I think that's an area where we still have to do a bit more work in MTN, but I believe it's key to really create this engagement and this brand experience with the consumer.
Great. So what is the elements that are critical to MTN basically are speed and consistency. Now, how measurable are these? So if you are to put some figures to ensure that you are meeting the strategy, how are you able to measure return on investment to ensure that you are meeting the bottom line, you are adding value to the bottom line?
So in MTN, specifically at group level and at country level, we're using different metrics, okay? And these are very important KPI, and these are KPIs that are used to measure all the executives in the organization. And the first one, of course, talking to a customer experience forum here is the NPS, that is the Net Promoter Score. That is basically a simple question that asks the consumer, would you recommend this brand or this product to to friends and family. And then the person has to rate between 0 and 10. And then you are a promoter only if you score 9 and 10. It is a very difficult metric. And this is something that we've been using for years. We measure it every month, every quarter. Here in Ghana, we compare our NPS with our competitors. And it's a absolutely key metric that if we do not provide a great experience, the NPS will not grow. If the NPS is a metric that reflects future revenues at the end. So if you provide a great experience, then this will translate into revenues. And what we are doing now is we're moving from just a brand NPS to really go to a much deeper level. So we are measuring now product NPS or engagement NPS. So we don't do it. I think we started doing in some shops, service centers, is that when you leave the service center, then you get an SMS that asks you, okay, please, how can you rate the experience? Would you recommend these service centers to your friends and family? In some other cases, you measure these experiences with savings in your cost. Okay, so for example, if you start using smart technology and provide a great experience on your social media channel, let's say on WhatsApp, then this could translate, if done well, of course, could translate in savings because fewer calls will reach your call center. So there are many different ways. Another one that we are also using is also the brand tracker. That is a set of metrics related specifically to the brand. So there are different metrics, and for us, we really monitor these on a weekly, monthly basis, as they are key KPIs for us beyond, of course, the usual revenues and so on.
Okay, great. So you mentioned that the NPS is in relation to your competitors. I mean, it goes without saying, but let me just ask. So if you compare yourself to your competitors, how would you rate yourself? Are you better than your competitors? Or they are better than you?
Some surveys we are better, some other surveys we are not. It's a continuous evolution. That's the problem. It depends that the NPS depends on so many different variables, external and mainly external and also internal. So it's a continuous evolution, I would say. So yeah, as I say, sometimes we are better, sometimes we are not. In some areas we are better, in some other areas maybe we are not. So it's a combination of many things.
Okay, thank you. So JP, what would be your critical elements for a compelling digital branding experience strategy? I think JP has gone off. So I would continue with Dario, and hopefully JP will join us and answer the question for us. So COVID accelerated the use of digital products in the world and in Ghana as well. And that also brought in its wake consumer protection and cyber security governance issues. How are you finding the balance between complying with these regulations and still meeting strategy? Someone's mic is on. If the mute.
There has to be a way to mute all. Okay, thank you.
Repeat the question.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I think I got the question. I think it's a very important topic: consumer protection, cybersecurity, data protection, data privacy. So the approach for MTN is very simple. There's no compromise. Our approach is zero risks. So we are using the most advanced technology to make sure that our data, that is the data of our customers, is secure. And we are also making sure that we respect and we are compliant, to all the different privacy laws in the country. The key thing is that data protection is important, and for sure we will be and we stay compliant. But of course, it's something that has to evolve over time, because if we want to, for example, create a data economy in Ghana, then we also need most probably to change the way we look at this type of regulation. Recently, this week, I had a session with the GIZ, the German Institution for Development, and we're talking exactly about data economy in Ghana. And the key thing is that, okay, so what can we do to enable data economy? What can we do to use data to improve the economy and improve the life of anybody living in Ghana? And this is a combination of using the right technology, but also at the same time standardize this technology, and make sure that all the different entities that use data, that have data, they know how to share the data with others to improve experiences and improve the life of consumers. For example, today I was reading an article about the evolution of open banking in the UK. Open banking it's not simple, but it's the standard basically that enables banks and fintechs to share data. And this is incredibly powerful because from there you can create new experiences, new products, and many other things. So for us, we want to be part of this, and we will continue our engagement with the government and with the regulator to make sure that MTN is part of the data economy, and that the regulation evolves together with the potential of these of data and the data economy.
Thank you, Dario. Welcome back, JP. Before you left, the question I asked was, what are the elements that you would deem as critical in a digital brand strategy?
So something you definitely need to consider is the language. Majority of us speak English, so we assume everyone else can speak English. But when you are online, you have to be aware that your end user may be in another country, in another place, and may not be familiar, with your language at all. So you have to ask yourself, do you even have like translators and so on your website just to make it easier for someone? Other people are also using different currencies as well. So if it's a commercial platform, can they make payments in their local platforms as well? Another thing that you have to consider is what they see as well. Some people don't read as much as they should because you just take the information on face value. So your presentation has to be such that it's easy for the end user to consume your information. If you're going to have like a chunk of text and a chunk of instructions, 10 pages, like the user manuals and terms and conditions, which most of us are guilty for not reading. But if these terms and conditions were simplified into, let's say, 5 points, large up on your screen that you can just scroll through, it will make things easier as well. And also something to consider is, sometimes you create digital experiences and the images and video content is so bulky that those in areas that don't have access to fast, reliable internet may have a struggle. So you need to consider a scaled down version. There are platforms like Facebook and other platforms that have this in mind. So they recognize when your internet connection is weak, and then they have a scaled down version. So if you're building a website or any other platform, if your images don't load up, or your videos don't load up, will your users still be able to go through your platform? That's something that you need to consider.
Yeah. Thank you, JP. For members of the audience who joined after we started, the theme is using smart technology to drive brand experience, and also to acknowledge our sponsors. This is being made possible by Joy Business, Unique FM 95.7, Brandcraft, and Rima CXC. And you can also send your comments or your questions through the chat bot, or you can use the raise hand button and I'll call you if you have a question or a comment. JP, how would you rate the Ghanaian regulatory environment comparatively? Because if I look at your portfolio of companies that you've worked with, it looks like you have experiences with companies outside Ghana. So then you would have information on how other countries' regulatory environments are. So if you compare Ghana to the outside world, how would you rate our regulatory environment?
To be honest, the regulatory environment in Ghana, for me, looks non-existent. There's rarely a case where digital platforms are approached before or during the application. Usually the approach comes in when there's a legal case or a police case, and there's a need for investigation. And that's when they go back and they're like, oh, hey, do you even have this in place? Do you have that in place? So I haven't, seen any regulatory or done business or being involved with any regulatory service here. But one thing for sure is that the internet is very global. It's very cumbersome. Like you have a spider web and you have something going on in one corner and something going on in another corner. And these regulatory bodies may not have the resources to monitor all of these. So even back in America and other places globally, till there's an issue, not much is done. But something that has been popping up recently in the global space is general data protection regulation. So there's been a case recently where people's information have been leaking online, and this regulatory body, the GDPR, is a global body, and they are trying to put things in place to make sure that information doesn't leak out. So they are working with the giants, the Googles and the Facebooks and co, to make sure that those things are in place. So if you own a website or you use any of the platforms, when you are filling up your information or you're taking information from consumers, they ask you certain things that, do you have a terms policy? Do you have a policy? Yeah, terms and conditions. Do you have all these things? All these things are required. But, the people behind it are just like us, and they have tons. I'm sure there are like 500 people making a website right now. So apart from the bots that are used to detect that, hey, you don't have this set up, you don't have this in place, which is mostly being asked of when you are creating the platform. When you are done and it's created and it's out there, they usually don't come back to you to check on these things. So I hope that soon in Ghana would have a regulatory body. And I just saw a comment that said that there's a data protection agency in Ghana. If there is, I'm not familiar, like the police, you see them on the streets, you see them everywhere you go, you see them in action. So you know that, yes, they are there. I'm here to see how this agency works, and you would see what they have to do about it. But good to know. I'll do some research and check on them as well.
That would be great, because it will also benefit you in your in dealing with your clients, so that you don't wait, as you said, for something to happen, but then you know what the regulations are. Because I know that there's the consumer protection, there's the cyber security authority, and I think security, I think they are nascent stages, but it would be good to know what the regulations are, so that we are not.
Yes. So the one of my concerns when it comes to these regulations, since we're in the digital, even recently, there was this issue where e-commerce platforms, the government was going to find a way to tax e-commerce platforms. And, if I want to create a website right now, I wouldn't need the approval of any of the local authorities, since it's online. When you create a Facebook page, you don't need any local authority. When you create an Instagram or any of these digital platforms, you don't need any of these. Usually their services are more beneficial to the larger corporations. So if you were a bank, or an insurance company, and you needed certain checks to your cybersecurity and co, that's when they'll come in. But for some of the smaller game players and the end users, I'm yet to find out what services they have to offer.
So, Dario, back to you. Same question as JP. Comparatively, how would you rate Ghanaian regulatory environment?
Sorry, I struggle to hear. I don't know whether there's somebody. Can you ask the question again, please?
Comparatively, how will you rate the Ghanaian regulatory environment?
So I think I have a slightly different position than JP. For sure, it can be better, but for sure it could also be much worse. So on many things, I think it's quite advanced on data privacy. Again, we are Ghana is basically aligned to the GDPR, that is the European standard. So on few things is quite advanced. Also, especially on the fintech side, the Bank of Ghana has a sandbox where fintechs can apply and try and test their solution before, even if the regulation is not ready. So on many things, it's quite advanced. Of course, on others, maybe there is room for improvement. But I'm sure that in Africa there was actually not only in Africa, but everywhere in the world, there are countries with worse regulation than in Ghana. And of course, it also depends on which area. Regulation can be everything. We can talk about, the NCA, that is the regulator for us as a telecom. We can talk about, the Bank of Ghana, data privacy. So there are many different, areas where we as a larger corporation, we engage we have to face regulations. But I'm a strong believer that the good regulation will support the growth of the country. The key issue is that often the regulation is always a bit behind technology. And this is everywhere in the world. I mean, if you look at all the issues that Facebook and Twitter and so on had in the US, it's simply because the legislator and the regulator are behind on what the technology is. So it's difficult to rate specific regulations. I think, again, there is room for improvement, as for sure, but I think there are good steps. I think we are in the right direction, I would say.
Thank you. There are a few questions in the chat box. A lot of them for MTN, obviously. So we have Theophil. He's asking, how is the internet connectivity both in Accra and out of the city for the better use of smart technology?
Yeah, so internet connectivity is of course the quality, I would say, of internet connectivity, because internet connectivity is everywhere in Ghana, basically. Our coverage is basically everywhere. The issue, I would say, is the quality of the connectivity. There are some areas where we have good connectivity, other areas where maybe we are struggling a bit. But the amount of of investment that we make every year is huge. Over $100 million every year to just make sure that we have the best network in the country. And again, talking about regulation, we're working also with the regulator to make sure that we get their support to provide great connectivity to customers everywhere in Accra and also out of the city.
Thank you. Theophil, I believe your question has been answered. I have another one from Isaka to Dario as well. MTN recently bought plots of digital land in the metaverse. What does this mean for digital transformation and brands in Ghana and Africa as a whole? Dario.
MTN Group bought a piece of land in, if I remember what it's called, Ubuntu land. And we are now in discussion. I think we had a call a couple of weeks ago. We are in discussion with group on what to do with this land. And the plan is most probably to have different plots for the different countries, and then every plot will showcase the country and how MTN is potentially helping the country. It's the metaverse right now does not really exist in reality, in the sense that it's not, there's no clear definition of the metaverse. It's not just one place. There are many different applications of the metaverse. There are people that think the metaverse will be the future. Today, I was reading the interview of the founder of Snapchat, who said that he doesn't believe that the metaverse is the future. For them, is more around augmented reality than a real metaverse. So we are there because we want to be there to make sure that we are at the cutting edge of innovation. And then we are monitoring how these will evolve, the metaverse, the Web 3.0, NFT, and all these areas.
Great. Another question, is the MTN app 0 rated?
Yeah, both my MTN and Ayoba, they're both 0 rated. That means that app, it doesn't use the data from your bundle, and you can also use the app when you have no data, as long as your internet connectivity is active.
Great. And another one from Adino Populampo, so to Dario as well. To take you back on NPS and other SMS-based surveys and even notifications, survey fatigue and notification fatigue are certainly becoming an issue. How much use are you making of information already on your network to avoid having to keep getting back to customers directly or only when necessary?
Yeah, no, I think it's a very, very valid point, and it's something that we discuss internally a lot. I believe that we're already using a lot of the internal data. So, for example, we are working now on a specific application for my MTN, so that if the app, if there are some issues on the app for whatever reason, we don't have to, do a survey and ask the customer what's happened, when did it go, whatever. But these will already give us all the information. So, for sure, I agree that we have to use more the internal data that we have. But at the same time, a survey can give you insights that data can't give you. I think what we should do is to make a better use of different channels. So, for example, now on my MTN, hopefully this week, we should have run a survey that is not an SMS, but basically is a message inside the app. So it doesn't really disrupt your experience. It's not yet another SMS from MTN. But when you open the app, if you want, we give you the opportunity to give us some feedback and some suggestions on how to make the app better.
Great. As much as we need these insights to enable us to measure how our customers' experiences are, it really can cause fatigue, and sometimes you end up not getting the right responses from and feedback from our customers. So it's very key. Thank you. A comment from James Atos says the regulatory bodies in Ghana are non-existent. Well, establish that they exist. So you need to know who your regulatory bodies are and get to understand the regulations, so you don't find yourself wanting. Sorry about that. Right. Let me see if there are any more questions. Okay. So JP, this is a question to you. Is there a need to use smart technology for my small business? How do I know what to look out for?
Thanks for the question. And I would say that yes, there is a need. But first of all, as a small business, you need to consider primarily, what do you need? What is the main objective of your business? That's what you need to consider. And through this main objective, if there are any processes in there you can use smart technology to eliminate, then sure, you go for it. For small businesses, for example, let's say you have a website and a user goes onto the website and makes a purchase. After the purchase has been made, the user gets into your database. So now you can communicate and get in touch with this person. If this tech weren't smart, then after the customer making a sale, you'd now have to go back and reference that, hey, who is this customer? And try and find these details and then store it on your platform. But these platforms are such that you can use them. Some things to look out for is your communication tools and your customer journey. With communication tools and your customer journey, smart technology would definitely cut you a lot of slack. For example, with WhatsApp, when you are not available and someone sends you a message, an automatic response goes out. So whatever response you put in there would be convenient instead of customer send a message and not getting any reply at all. So this is an example of smart tech that would help your small business. And if I should say, when it comes to smart tech, it's not about the grand things that we do. It's just about the small little things that we do to cut down processes and make things more convenient for us. WhatsApp, again, using that as a reference, WhatsApp Business has made it easier to tag your customers as well. So when you engage with your customers, you can just tag them so that for future reference, you know that, oh, this is a new customer, or this is an old customer, this is a premium customer, this is someone I've never spoken with before. This is all examples of using smart technology, because technology is what it is. Being smart about it is just, making the simple decisions and using the simple tools that would just make your work easier. Something else to also look out for as a small business is your physical tools. So if you're a small business and you engage customers often, so let's say using the fashion industry, for example, a customer may come in and, you need to know their measurements. There are apps and tools that will allow you to put all this information onto a database one time. So when you're communicating with this client, you know that, oh, this customer's height or foot size or XYZ is as such. You have used technology smartly, and that would definitely be efficient for you instead of writing it down on paper and then next time you're going to, the customer comes in, oh, I need to place an order, and you're not going to ask about, oh, please, what's your shoe size? No. If you're using your technology conveniently, you would have that on your phone, and you know that, oh, this is address leg size, so I don't even need to ask you anymore. So yes, small businesses do need to use smart tech.
Yeah. Thank you so much, JP. This brings me to the issue of the use of smartphones. Most of us use smartphones for just messaging and phoning, as in telephoning. But there's so much computing capacity on our smartphones. With this question, how would you advise a small business who has a smartphone but does not have a computer? How would you advise that person to take advantage of the capabilities of the smartphone? JP.
Okay, so yes, please. So before taking advantage, first of all, you have to analyze your customer touch points. How are you touching your customers? How are you communicating with your customers? What functions are in your business? If you're a printing business, definitely your services and how you operate with your customers will be different from if you were in the fashion industry. If you were, let's say, supplying or distributing as well, that would be different. There's so many tools that you can get on your phone. An example is MailChimp. MailChimp allows you to compile email addresses.
Can you spell that for me?
MailChimp, M-A-I-L, chimp, like a chimpanzee, M-A-I-L and chimp. That's a great tool. Yes, that's a great tool for managing your customers. MailChimp started off as a newsletter platform, but they've grown to find out that you're touching, aside having your customers' email and just sending them emails, there are different things you need to know about your customer. So MailChimp, you can get access to it on your phone. It can synchronize on your website. If you set up your MailChimp well, it will tell you that, okay, Adwasare has purchased XYZ on your website before. This is her address. This is so and so. All that synchronizes. So right on your phone, you have access to all the information from your customers. Some websites as well have integrated platforms like WordPress, where you can log in on your phone and get access to your whole website. So you can basically manage your website from your phone. You don't need to now log in behind a computer to create a new blog post or add a new product or service to your website. You can do it right there from your mobile phone. There's so many tools. There's so many tools, but it all depends on the industry you're in. And what I'll advise small business owners to do is just to spend a little bit of time and do some research online on their field, because there's always communities in those fields who use similar platforms as well. So yeah, you do a little bit of research, and within your community, you definitely find some technology that would help you. Our phones right now are more powerful than the computers that were used to compute, NASA used to compute to get into space. So that should tell you how much power we have. You know, aside the regular WhatsApp and Facebook and Instagram that we use, there are so many platforms as well that even helps you to manage your social media presence. There's platforms like Crowdfire that also tells you who is following you on your social platforms, who is not following you on your social media platforms as well, so that you can just maximize on your communication.
Great. Thank you so much, JP.
Most
I
welcome.
have a question for Dario. I think we assumed that we are all digital experts. So the term metaverse, if you could kindly define that or explain that to the lay persons on the session.
Yes, so the metaverse is a difficult definition, I would say. But basically, the idea of the metaverse is that we are going to live and experiences in a complete virtual world. So the idea is that you put on your head a VR set that could be, you know, Oculus from Facebook or other brands, and we hope that these bulky glasses or VR set that you put on your head slowly will become lighter and lighter. And once you're there, you are in a complete different world. You only see what, you live and you are immersed in this world. And in this world, you can do a lot of things. You can meet people, you can play games, you can have a virtual meeting. There are many things. I recently watched a YouTube video from a Washington Post journalist who went in an hotel and then spent a whole day with the VR set in a head to see whether it's actually possible to spend the whole of your whole life inside the metaverse. Today, there are many interesting experiences in the metaverse, very interesting use cases. But I guess the limitation is still due to the fact that you need first of all, you need to have the money to buy a VR set. The second thing is that the VR set is quite heavy, so after a while, it's not that comfortable. And you also need a very fast internet connection to have a very fluid experience. But for example, one day you could go on the metaverse, you go to the mall, to the metaverse mall, and instead of going to Accra Mall, you go to a mall in the metaverse. You have all the same shops. You go inside the shop, you try your clothes using your avatar, and then you complete the checkout, and then they get delivered to you in the real world. So there are millions and unlimited use cases of the metaverse. But before, I think is not yet affordable enough and easy to use enough to become like a very spread and used by more people.
Okay, so simply put, we can say that metaverse is like a virtual world.
Yeah, for sure. It's a way of saying virtual world. Yes.
Right. Thank you for that definition. I have another question from Levi, who says, how can brands co-create with their customers so that the brands, being the service providers and the customers, can be on the same page to make the customer become an evangelist of the brand using smart technology? So basically, how can we use smart technology to create brand advocates? So he wants, okay, this question is to all of you. So anyone who is ready to answer.
So I can make a little comment on that. Ideally, it depends on the industry you're in and the services that you're providing. There are platforms like YouTube that has made it easy to co-create, where you can remix someone's video. So if someone else has a video, you can like repost a snippet of that. Similar to what's going on Instagram and TikTok, where you're resharing other people's videos too as well. There's a capability of that. So it depends on what services you are offering. And based on the services you're offering, there will definitely be tools around that. For an example, the fashion platforms, they're coming up with augmented reality and virtual platforms where you can go in and, as I was mentioning, even see how an outfit looks on you, and then you can change the color, you can change certain things about it to suit your style, and then you place a custom order in. So that is an example of co-creating with your customer. There are also other brands where, let's say it's like a t-shirt or a merchandise brand, and you go and you can choose your own logo and upload, go through your process, choose the fabric, whatnot, all that you want, and then it comes out on the other hand. And there are also apps like Global and Jumia Food and which are co-creating with their customers, because now you have the choice. You're picking out your own menu, and adding up and then checking out yourself. You pay everything and then it delivers right to your doorstep. There's also the grand scheme of things, but to make it more convenient and effective, there's these little things that gives the customers a better experience.
Great. Thank you, JP. Dario, what's your take on that? How can you use smart technology to create brand advocates?
So I think that the way we are trying to do it in MTN, especially with the digital products, is really to make sure that we bring the user with us throughout the journey. So if you want to create a new feature on an app, for example, we're really doing our best to make sure that we test it using prototypes and different level of prototypes, from very simple and black and white prototypes up to clickable prototypes. And these are presented and shared with the customers. And then they give feedback, they provide what we should change, how we should make it better, and so on. And of course, there are plenty of these technologies and platforms that can help with these by simply, for example, we use Figma to simply share new designs. And so for us, it's really more about co-creation. It's co-creation, but together really provide, gather feedback from customers as early as possible in the journey, the development of a new product, because we're not anymore where when we can launch a product and then you hope that the product will be successful. You have so many stages before that where you can really test your product with real users, and you don't have to take the risk of going live without having engaged the consumer before.
Yeah, great. Really, we are in business because of our customers, yes, and then also to creating value. So it just makes sense that we co-create with our customers, so we get to know our customers' preferences to ensure that when these products come out, they will be utilized by our customers. We are almost out of time, so I would ask the last question from Bernard. He says, football is one sellable product that has put Ghana on the global map. Ghana's league has suffered from non-availability of sponsorship for some time. How or what are some of the ways that stakeholders of the trade leverage the enormous economic potential in same with smart technology? I'm not sure I get the question. Football, so how do we leverage smart technology in promoting football? Bernard, I hope that is the question. Dario, would you want to take this? Not sure if you're a football fan though.
No, I'm a football fan. I guess the the key issue with the key potential for football is really to make sure that you create a brand around the football, and that's what the Premier League in the UK has done, in England, sorry, has done incredibly well. It's a brand, and it's a very high valuable brand. Is now promoted everywhere, and they ask for millions of dollars to just have the rights to stream this product. There are other ideas. Recently, I read about, I haven't tried it yet, but I read about FIFA, the World Football Governing Body, that they also launched FIFA Plus, that is their own version of a video streaming app, only with content from FIFA competitions or events. So I guess for sure, technology could help football in Ghana, and then could become a way of monetizing football and also bring more funds to football in Ghana. Is that it requires a very strong, a very high initial investment that has to be found, I guess, and that's where I believe it's not easy. That's why, but for sure I agree that technology can for sure help to bring funds to football and also monetize football.
Great. So basically with technology, I mean, the sky is the limit. You can do anything.
Absolutely, exactly.
Technology, yes. All too soon, our time is up. It looks like we've even eaten into the time. So before we end, I would like to ask for your last words. Anything that, any comments that you'd want to give regarding this topic that a question has not been asked on. So I'll start with Dario. Any last words for us?
No, my only last word is to think about smart tech and digital, to always reflect about scale, what can scale, not just, and what can have an impact, not just think about a new fancy technology, really. So, for example, for us in MTN here in Ghana, I'd rather invest more budget, and that's what we are doing, to move customers from using USSD, that is a short code, that is a 30 years old technology, and move them to the app, instead of immediately start spending money into the metaverse. Not because it's not as important, because we really want to, first of all, we want to make an impact, a digital impact, and scale these for as many customers as possible. So for me, the key thing is really, when we think about smart tech, just always remember what can have an impact. Think about the future, but also what can have an impact today. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Dario. JP, your last words?
So I'd want to say that using smart technology is like good food. When food is good, you're always going to come back, to it and ask for more. Although you may not know all the ingredients that went into it. So applying smart technology just helps you cook up a better experience. And it doesn't have to be the most grand, it doesn't have to be a grand overhaul. You should just start off with the simple, basic things that the customers will need. Just like good food, trust me, smart technology will have them coming back to you. TikTok is a very addictive example. So if anyone on here uses TikTok, they'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Thank you so much, JP and Dario. It's been a very insightful session, and we've learned so much. And as the saying goes, when you're having a good time, you don't see the time go by. There are so many questions in the chat box. Unfortunately, we can't answer all. So we will send these questions to you, and hopefully when they are answered, we'll put it on the CXP page. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been amazing. It's been awesome. It's been interesting. So before we say goodbye, I would invite our president to give us the closing remarks. Then we draw the curtains on this session of the Corporate Hangout.
Thank you, Adra. I think today I've learned a lot. It's been an amazing session. Thank you, Dario. Thank you, GP. I learned, if nothing at all, I learned what a metaverse was.
Yes.
I think I'd like to have a feel of it, the virtual world. So we've learned a lot today. I think we are doing something amazing here as an association, and we are happy that you are all part of this. Every participant who joined us today to make this a success. Thank you very much. Just an announcement. We are still driving our membership, and so anyone interested to be a member, kindly visit our website, cxpghana.com, and then register as a member. We have 2 upcoming trainings as well. The CX Fundamentals, which is for those who are new to customer experience or those who want to revise what they know. You can join the CX Fundamentals coming up in June. And then we have the CX Pro for the practitioners, those who want to cement their authority in the customer experience discipline by preparing to write their certification. We are here to support you. That is coming on in July. And so if anybody here is interested, kindly go on the website and register for either or both of the training sessions coming up. We are also preparing for our annual Customer Experience Professionals Ghana Conference. It's going to be amazing this year. It's going to be very insightful this year. And so we'll be reaching out to most of you. We'll be very grateful for sponsorship. So we'll be coming around so that we can co-create our conference this year. Thank you so much. I'll hand it over to Ajua to end the program for us.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to thank our sponsors, being Joy Business, Unique FM 95.7, Brandcraft, and Dreamer CXC. Thank you so much for making this possible. And also to thank our able resources, being Dario Bianchi, JP Datson, and Michael Chawi. It's actually been very insightful, and I have enjoyed hosting this program. Thank you, CXP, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you all. Have a wonderful weekend and enjoy the long weekend, and be safe. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you, Dario. Thank you, JP. Fantastic.
Bye.
Joa, thank you. You are fantastic as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Dario, I'll reach out.
Like a drug in my system, baby. Oh, na 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 na. I need to let you go. Or we go be yawa, 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 yeah. When I dey sick, oh, your body be my medicine. Oh, I'm addicted to the way that you hold me down. Oh, I just oh, your body be my medicine. Oh, I'm addicted to the way that you hold me down. Bass mommy, love you, bass mommy, mommy. You know I need you, baby, oh. So mommy, you love me, bass mommy, mommy. You know I need you, baby, oh. Feelings, I'm in my feelings. There is something about you, you bring me healing. Feelings, I'm in my feelings. There is something about you, oh, about you, something about you.
Yo, and I would like to say goodbye at this juncture. Eh, Kofi. Yeah, prepare your for China school.
Yeah, sounds. DJ.
Please, I haven't done my assignment. Bye-bye.
Ah.